John 3:16 is the gospel in a nutshell. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Can you hear the heart of Jesus? It's the heart of his Father. He wants to save you. He loves you. Whoever believes in him is not condemned. That's good news. I was sitting in Starbucks this week. I was kind of just staring at my computer screen, thinking about how a preacher shouldn't be allowed to add anything to a passage that is all red letters. We should just probably read it together and dismiss in prayer. So I am sorry. I always feel like I need to earn my compensation. God forgive me. So I'm sitting there staring at a screen with only this passage copy and pasted to the page. And in walks two ladies. They sit right next to me, and I recognize one of them. You may not know this, but when I started in real estate, it was a slow start. And like Benjamin Franklin and his squeaky wheelbarrow, I would try to look busy in plain sight. But after a while, I just could not do anything, right? I had to do something. And so for a year, I worked at Starbucks. I was a barista, drive-through, clean the toilets, mop the floors, whatever they asked me to do. And I love those people that I worked with. They were patient with me. And this lady sitting next to me was a daily customer. Every day, very sophisticated. She ordered a venti sugar-free cinnamon dolce latte, 2% milk, 190 degrees, double cupped with a stopper. Every day. And if you were new, she would grab that and she would take the stopper and she would look at you and she'd take a sip. Not right. She'd hand it back to you. After a while, though, you got it right. She'd be like, she'd nod and she would leave. See you later, Betty. I changed her name for this story. And this was just a few years ago. And as she sits next to me a few days ago, I realized like dementia has started to take her mind. And I hear her say, "What is it I usually get?" to the lady. And she tells her, and she's wrong. That's not what she usually gets. And she kind of like shakes the cup. And she's like, "Well, it feels right." And then she takes a sip. She's like, "Oh, that's good." And they have their conversation. And as I listened, it's difficult to describe some of the emotions that I was feeling. And I was reminded, whether it's a physical death or a slow mental decline, we must recognize that our time here is limited. We just don't know. What is good for dying men is good for us all. For that is what we are. And how soon we may be actually at the gates of death, none of us can tell. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned. But whoever does not believe stands condemned already, because they have not believed in the name of God's one and only Son.